We are at the InterSystems event in Belgium, Antwerp, where I'm speaking with Carl Olofson. He's Vice President Research at IDC. Welcome, Carl.
Thanks.
How does IDC look upon digital transformation?
Well, IDC sees digital transformation as an enormous change agent for business and information technology. It basically invites us to change pretty much everything we think about with respect to how we accumulate data, manage it, put it together, derive insights, and take action. It's including the technologies from the Internet of Things. It's including technologies from a variety of sources, often sources that are unmanaged by us, which requires that we first bring it in, analyze it, understand it, classify it, organize it, sort it, filter it, deduplicate it, all those kinds of things. And then there's, of course, the data that's within the enterprise as well, the managed data that's inside the enterprise. And the big challenge that we have in managing all that data is to make it make sense together so that we can take actionable insights from the data and move from there. It's not just about changing the way we manage our technology or the way we manage our data. It's also about changing the way we manage our business, the way we're organized, the way we assign roles to people, and the way that we carry on our business, because it demands much greater flexibility than we've ever had in the past in running our businesses.
Okay. The next question, zooming a bit more in on that, is how does digital transformation affect on how we run our businesses or how we run our IT?
Sure. So from an IT perspective, what we're doing is we're collecting data, some of which is in the enterprise and is fairly well managed, but hasn't in the past been used for this purpose. Some of it is new data, which we're creating in new applications that we're creating to establish systems of engagement, for instance, with customers and so forth. Some of it comes from streaming data, from sensors, other elements of what we call the Internet of Things. We need to bring all that in, and once we've made sense of it, we need to be ready to take action at any time. This demands a change to the way the business is run, because in the past we've tended to run the business according to fixed rules in which we say, oh, here are the situations we're likely to encounter, and these are the things we do in response to those situations. Well, now we may have new situations that we hadn't expected before, especially if we're employing technologies such as machine learning to some of this data, so that the system recognizes a condition and responds to it, which human beings hadn't considered. And now we need to be flexible enough to also respond in kind, which really means that we have to completely rethink the way we run our business.
Okay. And how does it affect data management and more specifically business intelligence?
So in the past, we've always taken the data that we manage and put it into separate places for separate jobs. We have our transactional data, which drives our fixed business processes through applications of various kinds. And then from time to time, we would extract data from those transactional databases and put them into analytic databases for performing analytic and reporting and deep analytic query functions. So such things as data warehouses and the like. This is of course important, and we'll still be doing data warehouse type analysis. But this business of extracting data and moving it to the data warehouse takes time. And it means that for the kinds of dynamic change that we need to be able to affect using all this data from all these different sources, it's no longer acceptable to keep that data completely separate. We need to find a way to bring that data together. And so the new direction is in terms of database management systems that can handle multiple different kinds of data, sometimes called multi-model databases, and databases that can perform a certain degree of sophistication of analytic processing on the same data that is being transacted upon, so that in effect we can create smart systems that ask questions of the data and then take action based on the answers to those questions.
how does, because InterSystems just launched the IRIS platform, how does this fit into this, into these new developments?
So the IRIS platform is in a category of basically data platforms, or integrated data platforms, if you will, which enable enterprises to bring data together from multiple sources and manage it as a whole, so that you can perform these various kinds of functions on the data in a more careful and well-governed way. One of the big challenges in bringing data together from many sources is that of data governance, making sure that the data is well-defined, making sure that it's trustworthy, making sure we know the provenance of the data, making sure we have consistent security. All those things are critical, and so this kind of technology, this data platform technology, is going to be vital to making the whole digital transformation process successful.
And what are the broader implications of this trend of integrated data platforms?
Well, the broader implications of the integrated data platforms is that, for one thing, from a business perspective, as I mentioned before, we can start thinking in terms of having access to all the data that we need when we need it. And not just data in the traditional sense, but information really, because what we want is to have the data with the metadata, with the context, so that we can ask sensible questions, get realistic answers, understand those answers, take action based on those answers. So from a business perspective, this means we have much more flexibility in the way that we run our business. From a technology perspective, it invites a whole new range of products that we believe will arise to surround the data management platform and offer additional capabilities and services, much as 15 years ago we saw an ecosystem develop around data warehouse platforms. So the integrated data platform will also see its own ecosystem arise.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.